Hey, how you doing, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the RichBuddy Live Show, where rather than you're being a captive audience, you have a captive host. All right, what's going on, everybody? We're going to talk about some watches today. We'll ease into that. We'll ease into everything a little bit. I just got myself a little situated here, kind of a little ahead of myself. So how do you guys like my PJs, my new Christmas PJs? Isn't it cool that they match the background prop? They totally match the background prop, don't they? Look at that. I kind of like it. This might have to be my usual wear for the show. Yeah. So let's see here. I kind of was thinking about talking about maybe my top 3 favorite watch brands. I thought that might be kind of a cool gig. So I hope you're not in a hurry, because I'm not. It's what time we got here? Well, I've been up for a while already. It's 3:07 a.m. here in Hollywood. 3:07 a.m. I got up an hour ago. So I'm just starting to feel right. So I didn't even get my drink yet. Got some orange juice here in the pipeline. Yeah. I gotta look at the crypto real quick to see if I'm up or down, since I went to sleep last night. So give me a second to look at that too. Where are we at? Oh, looking really good. Just about to come back to $26 on Chainlink. Looks like that might be another short-term top, but we'll hang in there. We'll leave it alone. Orange juice, very good stuff. Ethereum. Everything's in the green right now. Swell. Everything looks to be in the green. Right now, swell. Get some banners up there. Where are we at here? There we go. I got to get the Spotify thing, the audio podcast going. I've got just one up there. It's a really good one too. So if you haven't checked that out, there's one podcast on it listed there below. It's a really good one though. What is today? Saturday, so let's see what I forgot the name of that website that I liked, other than European Watch Company, that someone shared with me one time on the stream. I didn't save it. And it was a good website to look at watches too. Really good photos and all. I can't remember what it was. I should have written it down. Let's see. We haven't seen one of these in a long time. You know, I wouldn't mind. I'd pull the trigger on one of these. Look at this bad boy. Huh? How about one of these? What do you think? Wow, look at the guilloche. How about one of these bad puppies here? Oh, so guess what? I'm selling the Porsche. I'm selling the 911. Let's take a little break here for a minute. I'm going to sell the 911. So check this out. You know, um, I overpaid for that car because I bought it from my pops, from the goodness of my heart. I mean, you know what? It was the right exact car that I wanted. um, but I was being nice to my pops and I gave him a lot more than what it was worth. It wasn't running. So I kind of took it off his hands as a favor, you know, and I paid him for it as though it was a running car. You know what I mean? I didn't nickel and dime my dad for it. You know, pops has helped me out. So you know, I probably gave him $10,000 more than what it was worth, to be honest, you know. I gave him like 35 grand for that car. A blue book on that car last year was 19,000. Now I've had it for a long time. I mean, I've had it for what? I don't know. 8 years now. Time flies. I've had it for a while. But at the time, I definitely overpaid for it. You know, that I had to put 10 grand into it right away to fix it. Um, but my point is, in any of that, that's just the history of it. Um, my point is that the blue book was $19,000. Believe it or not, it was that low a year ago, year and a half ago, when I looked at and deciding, should I invest money in that car to make it look sweet, or should I sell it? So I couldn't bear to part with it for $19,000, right? And the interior was pretty wrecked on that. It was pretty wrecked. The interior was. Um, why was the interior wrecked? Because the passenger window was left down and the sprinklers came on. It was parked on the side where the sprinklers were coming on, and the sprinklers went onto the passenger seat. for about 10 minutes and just destroyed the passenger seat. It was beyond repairable the next morning. So, I had to make the decision a year ago or so. What was it? 6 months ago, a year ago that I had the interior done. Spend $5,000 on the interior, another $5,000 on mechanic work and body work. So do I spend? It was about another $11,000-$12,000 on the car. So I did sell it for 19 or spend another 12,000 on it and make it look cherry. I decided to spend the $10,000 on it and make it look cherry, right? So let's talk about my 911. We're gonna hold off on watches for a bit. Let me go to my Instagram. Give me a second. I want to pull my car up. So I gotta log in, huh? Let me see how I log in to my Instagram. I don't even know any of password and stuff. Darn it. Oh, I got lucky. Oh, not lucky. The wrong Instagram. It's one that was made by mistake and deleted. So let me try to get in the correct Instagram. Wait a minute here. Man, I gotta tell you, damn, I don't know why the doctors ain't calling me back. I need this procedure super bad. These sons of bitches ain't calling me back. And then my main doctor's office said they're going to call them and make sure somebody calls me, and still no call. I've been trying to get this back procedure done since I was in Hawaii. I left a message while I was in Hawaii. I can't believe it's been this many months and they haven't scheduled me yet. Okay, I got to find this Instagram freaking password. Hold on, give me a minute. We're going to find it. Anybody ever gotten a radio frequency ablation done before? It's a medical procedure. Radio frequency ablation. Apparently, it's a chemical induced burning of your nerve endings. Anybody ever heard of that before? That's what they're supposed to do to my back. And I've been trying to get that procedure scheduled for months. I need that password organizer from Sharper Image Catalog. Anybody have that? Any experience with it? Is it good? Does it work well? There's an electronic password organizer. Damn. I can't get in my Instagram. Oh, I got in. Get out of here. Got lucky on the password. Okay, let's share the screen and continue the discussion. Sorry for the interruption there. but things are always better with visuals. You know what I mean? Things are always better with visuals. Porsche. Right here? Right there. There it is. Why is the picture somewhat blurry, though? Why is the picture blurry? Maybe because it's blown up so much. I don't understand why the picture is sort of blurry. Yeah, maybe. Okay. Anyway, so what did I do? Man, I bought new rims. I got new tires. I placed those decals on. Those decals look hot on the door there. It's hot. The car looks hot. I got those Porsche steel pedals in black right there, those black anodized pedals and back stop. I got custom Porsche mats made to match the color of the car, and there's the seats. I'm not sure why it isn't all sharp. The pictures aren't sharp. That's a bummer. Why is that? That one's sort of sharp right there. The steering wheel, see the steering wheel, how beautiful the stitching is on the steering wheel? That's a little better. Let me go back and see if it fixed itself. No, it still looks blurry. They're not blurry when you see them on your iPhone. So anyway, there you could see the quality of the seats. Beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. So the idea is oh yeah, so yeah, the scales pick this, it's scaled down on Instagram, so it's sharper. I don't know why this one is sharp though and the other ones aren't. Maybe this one was taken in a much higher definition or something. So anyway, so what was I getting at? The blue book, right? 19 grand. Do I repair the seats? Do I reupholster the seats? Man, the seats look great. I went to a guy who does seats for Lamborghinis and Ferraris. My car went missing for 4 weeks. I didn't even know if the guy was even around anymore. It just disappeared. I went back a couple of times asking the neighbors if my car's should I worry or not. Seriously, like it seemed shady, but it got done. So how much did I put in it? Man, I don't know what I put in it. I put in, like I said, few, whatever. So, you know what the blue book is on this puppy right now? 40 to 50,000 bucks. 40 to 50,000. The blue book has doubled on this car. With the exact miles on it and everything as I looked before. The blue book has doubled. From 19,000, it's more than doubled. 19,000 to 42,000. 19 to 40. And it's doubled, but the way it looks with the colors, the paint scheme, the brand new upholstery, it's a convertible. You know how it is when people want something, like when they want a particular watch. I feel It's got the Tiptronic in the steering wheel. You know, it's the all-wheel drive. It's an all-wheel drive. I mean, I got all the little touches on it. I think that I'm going to be able to demand more money for it. I think I'm going to find somebody who's got some extra dough lying around. They made an extra million in the stock market. They made an extra million in crypto or Bitcoin, and they're going to just really want it when they see it. And I'm going to hope that factor there is going to get me an extra 10 grand out of the car, straight up. I mean, I'm going to list this thing for 56,000 bucks, way over the blue book by 12,000 bucks. And then I'll take something like 45 for it. I'll take like 45 for it. I'm going to list it for 56. They can beat me down like 45, 48. And that way I end up getting 8 grand more than blue book and 28,000 more than I would have a year ago. And it just actually will make the car would have been driven for free for 8 years if I do this and if I get what I want. And then what am I going to get? I'm going to kind of chill for a bit. And I'm honestly going to see, I got to pull the trigger on selling this car as quick as possible because it's at 87,000 miles. It's about to flip to 88,000. And I don't even think I want to flip it to 88. I want to push her to, and right now the hype is real. The hype is real and the cars are selling and they're hot in the US. I'm telling you, especially the sports cars, they're hot. So, and then I'm going to chill out for a bit, right? I thought about this. I don't want to rush into anything because what I'm interested in, there's a plethora of things that I'm thinking about and it doesn't even make sense. Like sports car or super comfort car because of my back and body condition. So I'm all over the board with whether I get like another Porsche, you know, do I get a GT3 or another 911, or do I get a comfort mobile like a Mercedes or a BMW? Probably a Mercedes. I like Mercedes, you know? Or do I look at something else entirely, you know? Do I look at a used Rolls Royce? Maybe I could find a used Rolls Royce or something that would be comfortable. Or I don't know. I mean, I'm all over the place. So the one thing I do know is that it's a good time to move this car. And the reason why I want to move it, look, I love the car. Man, to be honest, if the mileage was back down to where when I bought it, 61, because I bought it at like 61,000 miles. It's got 88,000 now. If the mileage was it's still low too. It's a 2004. So it's 17 years old with 88,000. It's about to hit 88,000. But I mean, if I was still at around 60,000 miles, I'd probably just keep it. And to be honest, I still love it and everything about it. So I'm honestly only selling it just to take advantage of what it's not worth. Does that make sense? I mean, as much as I want to keep it, it would be kind of foolish to not get rid of it when I can sell it for double Blue Book. It really, you just got to do it. You just have to do it. You know, and then I just feel at some point, you know, I'm probably going to have a couple of issues come up with this car. I'm going to have to change out a couple of lifters. A couple of things are going to come up, sticky lifters and things that I'm already dealing with. Catalytic converter is already showing signs that it needs to be replaced, and that's going to cost me $1,100 plus labor. And when I replaced the catalytic converter 2.5 years ago, it was $600 for the part. Now that part's doubled. So, and my mechanic told me it's going to need to be changed soon. So look, am I going to, and I just got it back from him and just dropped $400 in it in fuel, in fluid changes. So, you know, knowing it's going to need a couple of $1,000s of work in the next 12 months, I'm ready to flip it, man. I'm ready to flip it. You know what I'm saying? And if I got a new GT3, I mean, I don't even know what those are running, to be honest. Is there a weight on luxury Porsches? I don't even know, you know? I don't think I'd be so particular as to what they have to offer because I'm upgrading. No matter what I'm doing, I'm upgrading. Well, that's not necessarily true because my car is tip tops for what it is. I mean, I would require an all-wheel drive. You know, my car's an all-wheel drive, and I would require I would want slightly better than just the base model, just like I have the S model now. You know, like a turbo style body for sure. For sure. It's got to have the wider body if I get the Porsche. So I don't know. I think those are about 120 grand out the door, 130 grand out the door. I mean, I'd have more than a third of it paid off with the existing what I would get from this sale. You know, I mean, if I don't know, I'd have a third of it. Which that's really promising, you know. I mean, I'd have 40 grand, 40, 45 to throw towards whatever I buy as a down payment, right? And then I'd have to finance about 80 grand, which would be something like a $1,000 a month payment or something. That's perfect. That's what we're paying on the Expedition. On the Expedition right now, $1,100 a month for 5 years. No, I did 3 years. I did a 3-year finance on the Expedition, and it's $1,100 a month. You know what I would do? I would take the 40 grand from the Porsche, pay off the Expedition probably, and then just what does it matter? It makes no difference, to be honest. But Porsche or Mercedes, I think that would be the choices I'd have to go. It would either be Porsche or Mercedes, right? Do I know the RUF SCR? You know, I think I know which one you're talking about. I think I've seen the pictures of it. Is it the blacked out one? It's sort of blacked out, isn't it? I don't know. 800K. Yeah. I mean, you know, I don't need that, you know. I don't need that. If I was going to spend more than a couple $100,000 on a car, which I couldn't afford that. But if I could afford that, that's a little too much for me. I couldn't afford that. But if I could, I think I would go for a Rolls-Royce Dawn. or something like that. Used, of course, because I think those cost even more than that. But I've, you know, I kind of dig the rolls, for sure. And the rolls doesn't fit my home that I live in. It would be a mismatch, if you understand what I mean. Um, but nobody sees my cars anyway because I park from the back side. Nobody sees me come in from my alley. So, and my cars are propped on my gated property, so nobody can see my cars from the street. Um, so I guess it doesn't matter, that it doesn't that the car mismatches the look of the house, you know, because I live in a little house, very, very humble, modest home. It's, very small. Rich Buddy's not rich. He's just well off. Put it that way. Yeah, I can dream of it. My home is smaller than any apartment, probably other than New York City and Japan. But I guarantee you, any of you living in a single bedroom apartment have more square footage than the house me, my wife, and my two kids live in. One of the things we'll do one day, we'll either rent this out and move, or we'll remodel this home. But we're kind of we're kind of forced to stay on this property or to never sell it because the property tax is locked in at half the current value of the house. So it'd be foolish to leave when you have such a low property tax base. That's what freezes you in your home, the property tax base, you know. My cousin wants to get an Audi. I just talked to him a couple of days ago, and he said he was thinking about uh, an Audi. I don't know what's he was looking at the one that has the rear. What do they call it? The engine in the back. Whichever Audi is that one. How much does that one run? The one he's looking at, the one that has the engine in the back. What do they call that when the engine's in the back? There's a special name for it. I forgot. But yeah, he wants to get that one. I don't know. Hey, if he can afford it, more power to him. I don't know. Q3 is a hybrid. The R8, yeah. What do you mean 245? What's BHP? Base horsepower? I don't know. 245 is nothing. That can't be the same thing you're talking about. The Tesla is 700 plus horsepower, right? And I think the new, I think the Porsche electric is something like 480 horsepower, maybe, or 500 horsepower, 525, 480, 525, somewhere around there. So the Tesla really, I don't know how well though the aerodynamics are designed for that speed though on the Tesla. Has anybody ever addressed that? I wonder. You know what? I want to start subscribing to a couple of automobile magazines like I used to. I used to be subscribed to a couple of automobile magazines. Those were the best to read. I actually have one subscription, but it's to a muscle car magazine. So I get a muscle car magazine every month, Hot Rod. But I need one that has modern mechanics in it, you know. But to me, it just seems like although the Tesla can can is faster than a Porsche, I would think that a Porsche's body design would allow it to run circles on a track around a Tesla. That's just Jeff, that's just my thinking. I I could be totally fucking wrong, right? I could be totally fucking wrong. But it's just in my mind when I look at a Tesla, man, I don't see any aerodynamics. If anything, I see just forward aerodynamics. You know what I mean? That it's streamlined for forward driving, but you know, not digging and turning, grooving and grinding. You know what I mean? And then again, I don't know about the you know ceramic brake pad setup and suspension setup, all of that beautiful engineered German engineering on a Porsche that's lacking on a Tesla. Come on, man. There's got to be some substance in that. There's no way. There's no way for the price and the lack of experience and all of that stuff, technology and everything. I think with Tesla, there's no way they're going to match Porsche engineering when it comes to suspension. I mean, I can't imagine if you take the wheels off, you're going to see equivalent quality mechanics there. Am I right or am I wrong? I mean, I don't know. I'd have to ask my pops because he's got the Tesla and he had the Porsche and he's got a Ferrari right now. The Ferrari I was contemplating buying. So he knows about all that stuff. In particular, those cars. I've never researched those cars. I only know about my Porsche. And it's not an attractive car, man, you know? My dentist, I just saw my dentist the other day, and he has a Tesla, and he just got rid of it and replaced it with the electric Porsche. And I was telling him, man, that's a no-brainer. You know, you know, you had that Tesla for quite a number of years. He did, and I said, quite frankly, didn't you get tired of driving an ugly car? And he laughed. I said, man, it is, man. It's how much more boring and plain and uglier can you get? It looks like it looks like an old Ford Taurus. I don't know if you've ever seen a Ford Taurus before, but it's got that egg shape of a Ford Taurus. I just think they're a real stinker. I mean, yeah, besides the electronics and all that, but like my dentist said, he said he couldn't handle it anymore, that it's not nice inside. He said a Tesla is just not nice inside. He said he had to make the move to luxury car, you know. Um, and it's interesting he went to a Porsche. So he's doing his midlife thing, I guess. You know, I would have seen him as a BMW guy or a Mercedes guy, you know. But yeah, do the Porsche. So the Daytona on the screen, that's the greatest watch to go with any sports car. Well, Richard Mille's probably the one, but you know, we can't all have Richard Mille, right? But I think I've reached top tier satisfaction when it comes to, oh, there's some good pictures of the seat. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. Oh my god, the leather is so soft and supple. You know what I mean? You can see it there. There you go. Now you can see it. The Daytona is the so top 3 favorite brands. When it comes to steel watches, sports, right? Look, you think of top tier brands. You think of your favorite watches. Number 1, you automatically have to decide, how do I say it? I'm trying to come up with these words. It's early for me, or late. Sports steel is a giant category that just hovers over you. Sports luxury steel. So one has to ask himself, well, what's your favorite watch luxury steel? So, top 3 brands, top 3 favorite watch brands. What's your to pick one of those of the 3? One of them has to be your most favorite steel luxury sports watch. And that would be, for me, I've reached top tier on that. That's Daytona. So I feel I've reached, oh, there's a sweet picture of it. See, why is that not blurry? I think it was just something with a fumble with Instagram, huh? See how sweet that looks? God, it looks so beautiful. But so Daytona, I think I've reached top tier. I've gotten there. I'm gonna say that I do regret, it's gonna be one of my biggest regrets. And if they ever do drop back down to 45,000, I'll be picking up a datograph, a Lenga datograph. You see these chrome covers right here? You know what these are? Does anybody know what this is right here? This chrome cover on the headlamp? That's a windshield jet. Not what am I calling it? Windshield jet. It's a washer jet. So when I hit a switch on my steering wheel, this pops up and it sprays a powerful jet stream of water onto my headlamps here to wash them, to clear any mud or dirt. It's a headlamp washer. Jet washer. The car's never been smoked in. It's always been garaged. The canvas top is in mint condition. Somebody's going to buy it. I'm going to get some good money for this. I can't believe it. So yeah, I think that's top tier for Rolex. For me, is my Daytona. I don't think I need to I think that's without question. Yeah. It's the VIP watch. It's the watch that it's the hardest to get from the AD. It was it's going for the most premium of any of the sports steel Rolexes. It's definitely the car watch because of the tachometer. So I think that's an easy pick. It's an easy pick. I think if you didn't have a Daytona, then it would be a little bit harder to choose out of your watches what would be your top tier there we go. Yeah. Man, what am I going to do with my driving gloves? Damn. I got yellow threaded driving gloves that I paid $600 for. Do I have to get a car that matches the driving gloves now? Maybe after I sell somebody my car, I'll ask them if they want to buy the gloves. So definitely, and now looking at my I would say if I had to pick a second to the Daytona, then it would definitely be the Hulk. It would definitely be the Hulk if I had to pick a second watch to this Daytona. The Hulk for sure. Boy, man, these are coming in blurry again. Well, now that one's kind of sharp. Oh man, looking at these pictures, I want to go back to Hawaii. So yeah, and then looking at this, then one has to say, well, it was easy to pick your favorite brand, favorite category brand watch. So Rolex Daytona, bam, that's my favorite watch in steel luxury sports. Then you got to go to your dress category, and now that one is all over the board now, because I mean I've only got, I mean for what I've got that's fine, but now you got to look at favorite watch brand for dress. That's how I would pick my next one. I like this picture right here. How would you what would you pick for favorite brand for dress watches? Patek or FP Journe or Lange? Now that's a much harder category now to decide. Or even Rolex, because there's dress Rolex too. There's dress Rolex too. Man, I'm getting old. I'm getting old, man. Fucking A. Rich Buddy's getting old. So you know what? I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to go FP Journe, even though I don't have one yet, and it's coming. But I think my second favorite watch brand, I'm gonna have to throw it up and just say FP Journe, man. Top tier for you, 67 sub. 67 321 Omega and a 66 Octavia. There you go. All vintage. All vintage. Well, I've got a 1969 Omega 861. The next best thing to your 321. I guess it all depends. My watch is more rare, but your watch seems to be worth more money, apparently. Most people aren't hip to my watch yet. Oh, shit. Your brother-in-law sold a 1-year-old 911 at retail to a buyer due to availability issue at Porsche. Shit. You know, the one thing about Teslas and the charging stations and with electric cars that you have to think about, like say you're investing, you're an investor and you're considering investing in electric cars as an investment opportunity. One has to consider, which I've never heard it ever brought up. And I'd like to ask you when you think about it, because I guarantee you, I'm going to be the first person who's ever made this argument against electric cars and against investing in them. I mean, there's a reason. There's a big reason. There's a big barrier I see. The big barrier is charging the damn things. Because I don't know what the percentage is, but you have to think about how many people in the United States or in the world rent an apartment. I mean, most people who live in a modern city rent a small flat. They don't have a big home. They don't have a medium-sized home. They don't even have a home. They rent an apartment. So someone who rents an apartment will never buy an electric car. They just won't. How are they going to charge it? I see that as a major flaw in the entire system. You know what I mean? I mean, until they design apartment buildings with electric charging ports at every carport, I mean, what are they going to do? Boy, they'd have to have some real stringent fire code in those parking garages once they do something like that, right? But I see it as a huge it's a problem that would need to be solved. And people become billionaires off problems that need to be solved. So if somebody has the foresight to figure out how to solve that problem even before it's even mentioned, then they got something good in their pocket. You know what I mean? But yeah, you all the people with apartments, where do you see those are all the people you see standing by their cars charging them at all the free spots like at Home Depot or at the mall or at the Walmart. They're all sitting there by their cars or reading books. They're hanging out doing some paperwork. I mean, but that's what they're doing. It's so stupid. It's so stupid, isn't it? Wouldn't you rather be at home? But I'm gonna have to go with FP Journe, uh, regardless of not owning one. You don't have to own the watch for it to be your favorite brand watch. I mean, that's why I'm buying it because I like it, and I think it's gonna be my to go dress watch. You know what's gonna be great about enjoying that FP Journe is that I can still enjoy my Patek Philippe 5196 as well, because the 519, because I only have two dress watches. I only have two. I'm only going to have two. Right now, I only have one, this one right here on the screen. So, I'm not, man, it's kind of great when you think about it. I've got a dozen watches, but, and when FP Journe comes, it's going to be 13 watches. But the watch collection I've acquired doesn't overlap. The watches don't overlap with each other in that, if I want to pick a dress watch right now out of my dozen watches, man, I only got this one. I've only got this one. And when I get the Journe, I'll have two. So it's kind of cool that when you build your watch collection, to definitely buy up in the different categories evenly, or whatever, what I'm trying to say. Get a couple of steel, get a couple of gold, get a couple of watches for the water, get a couple of watches that are not for the water. Get a GMT, get a chronograph, get all my watches have different functions. If there was a specific duty, like I'm traveling, I would probably use my GMT watch, and what's cool about the 5196 right here is you can see that I drove this I wore this casually. It looks really good wearing with jeans too. I wore this with jeans and a flannel, and it's easy to get away with that, doing that. I mean, I guess this is a dress watch, but I don't know. I look at this more like a luxury sports steel dress watch rather than like a it's not very humble, so I don't really see it as being, I mean, well, I'm wearing it with a fancy sport coat here and stuff, but I guess this could go in category of fancy dress watch. But you see, it also goes with sport steel. It's a steel watch. Only the bezel's gold. But I think Fries with Mayo mentioned the FP Journe. You're using a reverso shadow black for dress. Oh, I've never seen one of those before. It's probably pretty cool looking. For travel, this is the one that I use right here. Which I haven't traveled in a long time. But yeah, the Batman. I mean, that's the one. That's perfect. GMT, 3 time zones. You know, if you utilize the bezel, you've got 3 time zones. Three time zones on that watch. I haven't worn this in a long time. And I haven't worn the Batman in a couple of years. I don't think I've put the Batman on my wrist since this picture. October 2020. That's the last time I wore this watch. When we went to Legoland in San Diego. I'm going to have to bust that watch out. FP Journe, Rolex, my third favorite brand. Bam, right here. It's definitely Omega. Definitely Omega. And look at the date on this production, April 17, 1969. Didn't we land on the moon in June or July? When did we land on the moon? July of 69 or June of 69? This watch is just before the moon landing, man. Just pre-moon. It's pre-moon, right? It's pre-moon. Just pre-moon. So cool, man. And I like that too. It says delivered to the United States of America just before the moon landing, man. You know? God, I love this watch. And I can't say how many times that this watch is special because of the applied Omega steel logo on the dial, which is an extreme rarity, making this a true transitional, unlike all its counterparts. Look at that steel Omega logo above the Omega marquee. You see how that pops? That's a hand applied logo that had to be custom hand applied. One of the pins on that logo had to be hand filed to make it fit. Hand filed to shorten it because the modification, the change from the 321 to the 861 hampered hampered one of the pins coming in from the back of that dial, and the new movement got in the way, and it had to be hand filed. One of the pins had to be hand filed, and they only did it for a very limited number of these 861s. And then they quickly said, hell with that, we're just going to paint the whole damn thing. And all the subsequent ones were painted. This is truly a rare watch. Rare watch. And with an exceptional dot over 90 bezel. I'm so lucky those nicks by the 90 are where they are and not above the 90, you know. Just the very few nicks on this watch, it just, like Clivers, the Wrangler, has said. He said, I've got a beautiful bezel here. This is, he said he's specifically not seen a bezel quite as nice as mine in good quality as this bezel. The bezel alone will fetch $3,000-$4,000, maybe $5,000 in this condition. Just the bezel alone. And then that bracelet alone, I paid $2,100 for that bracelet. So just in the bracelet and the bezel, you have $6,000 in value without the watch itself. God, this is my only Omega now, you know, because I got rid of my all gold Constellation, my $20,000 Constellation. I got rid of that. So this is my only Omega. And I'm so proud of this watch. And then it's going to be paired with another gorgeous beauty. The Snoopy 50th anniversary. And then it's going to be tripled with an Ed White that's on order. And I'm just going to have a beautiful tri-master collection. It's just going to be unbelievable. Unbelievable. A pre-moon transitional, a 50th anniversary, and the Ned White tribute. Holy crap. In my eyes, that's as good as a collection gets. You know, that could be a watch collection in itself, and you don't need anything else. Just the 3 Speedmasters, man. Am I right, though? Am I right? Just the 3 Speedmasters, man, would be enough. Where's that Omega at? Where's that Omega at? Right here. Right here. Look at this. Look at that beauty. Now, yes, you see there's tritium, and most of it's fallen off. Most of it's fallen off, you know. But what are you going to do, you know? You leave it alone. It is what it is. I've got that Omega applied dial logo, that Omega applied. Can you see how magnificent that is? I mean, that I could just have a masturbation session with myself with that logo. Like, you know what I mean? There's the dot over 90, and there you can see that a lot of the tritium is missing. But it's true original, man. It's true original. The hands are original. The hands are definitely original. I've inspected them. My watch person agreed that the tritium looks to match tritium from that's still there. It looks equally aged. Um, everything's proper. I have the proper hands, the proper everything's on this is proper. I replaced the crystal because I noticed that the crystal didn't have the original Omega crystal. It had to have been replaced at some time because it didn't have the Omega logo on it. So I replaced it with a new acrylic Omega crystal. That I did do. I got more pictures of it here. There we go. This is a 145022-68. So the 1968 Transitional Speedmaster was limited to a 9-month production run. Only an unknown number in the first 12 weeks of production retained this steel logo until the last lot of logos was used up. All that followed were painted. So if anybody looks at this watch, they're going to think it's a 321. There's nothing here to tell them it's an 861. If they didn't know about what I'm telling them, they're going to assume most people listen for a second here. Follow me on this one. Most watch collectors and most watch makers and watch repair people, I guarantee you 99.9% of them don't know this information. So when you take this watch into them, there's no way for them to know that this is an 861 until they open it. And then they're surprised. What the fuck? Why is this an 861? I've never seen this before. And that's what happens. The accent over the E, that's an important feature on the dial. Dot over 90, accent over the E. God, I love Omega. And you know, it's Omega. What do I love about Omega? It's the history. The history. Um, oh, there's the bluesy on its steel. I haven't seen it on the steel two-tone bracelet in a long time. It's been years since it's been on that bracelet. That's an expensive bracelet. The Omega history with the moon, the relation to the NASA and astronauts and all of that, It's such a wonderful history. And they make such great watches. Man, that was my gold banger. Man, that was my gold banger. I miss that watch. That watch was amazing. That watch just integrated gold bracelet, just fuck. It's non-removable. I don't think that bracelet was removable. I don't remember. But man, that thing was just amazing. I mean, yeah, I'm just like I'm getting the 3 Speedmasters. It just Omega is one of those watch brands that just really comes to the playing field, you know? I didn't like this Prince. I didn't like it at all. All the hash marks are just too dark. The red, the red tracks, the red railroad tracks were all too dark on this watch. I didn't like it. This was at Bob's Watches. I tried this on. And then that was one watch I'd considered. And then where was that Vacheron I considered too? I saw that pop up on my screen here somewhere. I didn't know there was a picture of that on here. The Vacheron. Huh. I don't see it anymore. Oh, right here. I like this one a lot. This was the steel Vacheron when it first came out. It's a great looking annual calendar, and you know, mind you, it's the only steel watch Vacheron makes. I think they don't make steel in these dress watches, right? I think though I would go for a sports. You know, I have a pretty good relationship with the guy at Vacheron. Um, even though I haven't bought anything there, if there's something I really wanted, I just feel like he would be able to get it for me. I feel like he'd get it for me. You know, so Rolex FP Journe and Omega, my 3 favorite watch brands. Interesting that Patek Philippe isn't on there, but I had to. If you have to cut and pick 3, I'm able to do it. You know, the Batman. It's a great looking watch. Um, there isn't anything here that I would get rid of. Look at that. Look how beautiful that looks with the two-tone bezel. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? It looks it looks like it's part of the magazine cover. That's a great watch. Um, what's his name? That musician that everybody likes. He says this is his favorite. He says this is the best designed GMT. Josh Grogan, is that his name? I returned that G-Shock for my son right before Christmas, and I got a different G-Shock. I found a better one. And so he's in love with it too. He doesn't take it off. So I'm real happy that I found him a watch that he's excited about. I gotta wear my Doxa. Man, that's a great picture I took. Look at that. Look at that shot. You can even see the pilots in all 3. It doesn't even look real. That's such a great shot. Man, even the Doxa, it's an incredibly beautiful watch, unique in itself, with the fiery orange bezel, numbered bezel, fiery orange, and the giant squared um, piece on the second hand. I just love this watch. And I got really lucky when I bought it too, because the year after I bought it, Doxa completely changed their assembly line, didn't they? They changed all their references. They no longer these were no longer limited editions. Um, um, yeah, I got one of the last limited edition. There's a lot of unique things now to this watch that are different, because Doxa really changed up a lot of their stuff, how they do things. I remember wanting the orange version of this watch. The orange dial version of this watch was definitely my first option, but they already sold out of it. And so I had the choice between this one and I think the black dial. So I went with this one. And and I'm glad I got this one. I want the orange one also. So that's something I might pull the trigger on one day, but it would have to be not direct from Doxa. I would have to get one from somebody else who has a limited edition one, same year when I bought this one, that kind of thing. And I'll have to pay a little bit of a premium for it. But I'd love to have the orange version of this watch as well, both of them. And actually, this watch right here, this is going to be a great first luxury watch for my son. He's 10, 11 right now, 10, I think. And he's got his G-Shock and his Casio. But when he's ready for his first steel luxury sports watch, you know what? I'm going to give him this or the orange one, whichever one I have. I'll let him choose between the two. But the Doxa will be his first proper watch. And look how proper that would be for a young guy. It's not flashy, it's not overly expensive. It's perfect for a beach kid. It's a diver. Yeah, I think that'd be a great first watch. Super great. That's a watch never to be gotten rid of. This is a it's actually interesting. Um you might think One might think, oh, the Rolexes might be the ones you don't get rid of and stuff, but actually there's some watches have sometimes more feeling, more substance than even a more expensive watch. I've worn this watch a lot with the family. We've spent a lot of time together with this watch on my wrist, and it's practical. Um, and I think this one's gotten the most compliments of any of my watches, to be honest. When I've been at the beach and stuff, I think people hesitate to comment on the Rolex because they're kind of like, well, F you, you got a Rolex. So they don't want to comment on it and inflate your head anymore. Does that make sense? But if you're wearing a more subtle watch that they know is definitely not a Rolex, but it's worth a compliment, they might bust a compliment on it. You know what I mean? So I think that's for that reason. Uh, I've gotten a lot of compliments on this watch. I can't think of any other watch I've gotten as many compliments on as this one. You'd think the Hulk would be one because it pops the green and all that, but no, it's been this one. Kind of funny. There you can really see the dome bezel. You see that? It really looks like that. It's so cool. Man, I think I'm going to wear this. I'm wearing my Daytona now. I haven't taken this off for days. I've been sleeping with it. Been wearing this Daytona for a week now. I think I'm going to switch to the Doxa. Now that's just got an ETA movement in it. $28.12, I think it is. An ETA 2812, I think. Oh, 2824. That's right. ETA 2824. I love that silver sunburst dial. And I mean, I don't know what they're using, but whatever they're using for the luminesce, it looks like tritium. It looks like fake tritium, you know? It looks really good. It's very subtle. It only looks like it's barely slightly aged, and it's good lume on the dial there. See how it looks? I don't think it's aged. That's just the color of it. Looks good. My favorite feature on it, the reason why I got this one specifically was because of that domed bezel. I mean, the domed sapphire crystal. That's just what's amazing about it. And then another unique feature on it is the cushion case. So there's a lot of man, you know, it's so great. Like I said earlier, to have a watch collection that has so many different varied characteristics in all your different references. I mean, I really did spread out and check mark lots of different boxes when I picked out my watches. I mean, this one has a bead bracelet, a cushion case, a dome sapphire crystal. It has a dive bezel that's unique that no other manufacturer has the same data on a bezel as this. You know, this one tells you how many feet you can come up uh, as you're coming up to avoid the bends and stuff like that. I mean, it just so many different things on this watch. Uh, Check marked some boxes on this one for sure. You know, yeah, very cool. And I remember I was deciding whether I should pick between this Doxa and the IWC Jacques Cousteau Aqua Timer, and the Doxa ended up being the winner. And then I started a Doxa craze. Everybody, everybody started buying Doxas after I bought this Doxa. Several of my viewers, including Blue Shirt Buddha, all jumped on board the Doxa craze. It was kind of cool. That was back in May of 2019. So going almost 3 years now that happened. The Doxa craze. Funny. Funny stuff. The Seiko Monster Orange, your favorite orange watch. Yeah, that's a cool one. Omega 2254. I'm not sure what that is. And a milli, huh? What's the new Hulk? What is that? Do you mean the do you mean the Starbucks? Did somebody make a Hulk watch? Um, I actually, I actually did want a pre-Mars watch. You know, there is one, and you know, I the price went up on it, and so I don't think it's something I want to pull the trigger on at this point. But I considered it. Let me see if I can pull it up. So here's the Mars watch. And I mean, I like it, and I think it's unique. That's it, right? So it's got Earth, Moon, and Mars on it. And it says on there, from the moon to Mars. I just noticed that right now. I didn't know it said that on there. So I don't know if you were just joking or not, but there is a pre-moon Mars. There is a pre-Mars watch. I mean, this has been around for a while. This isn't a new watch. Um, Maybe it came out in 2016 or 2015, because I'm assuming this article came out when the watch came out. Yeah. So this came out in 2016. That's not that long ago. I don't know what the case back is on this one. Let's see if there's a picture of it. There is not. I'd be really curious to see what the case back is. I don't remember. I don't remember what the case back is. Let me see if I could find the case back. Oh, it's a numbered edition too. See, it's a good looking watch. Here, look at this picture. It's a good looking watch, actually. Right here, look. You see how good it looks? Looks good. The colors blend together nicely from afar. So it's saying this one doubled in price, and this was a couple of years ago. So I'll bet you it's not cheap now. Yeah, this is one I should have picked up. Yeah. Oh, there's the back of it. And it's numbered. I don't know how many. Let's see if it says. Introduced during Baselworld in 2004. Interesting to note that some of the Speedmaster from Moon to Mars editions that are out there have different dials. This means the dials are the same, but show some faded or washed out subdials. Originally, and according to the original image from the press kit, the planets on the dial and are Earth, Moon, and Mars. On the press picture and on the real one you see in this article, the colors are all original and far from washed out. Based on the various dials we've seen out there, it seems that they are quite vulnerable. They are quite vulnerable to sunlight. If they've been in displays for a longer time or worn a lot, they seem to have been affected more than those who are kept in safes or boxes. A quick search on the internet, especially on Omega forums, has taught me that some dials are completely discolored, such as a green-yellow planet Mars and a blue-green moon. Earth stays mainly blue for the most part, but loses the other colors and the intensity of the blue, and the blue tends to go down. Interesting, huh? Either the quality of the paint wasn't good enough or they have been exposed to a lot of sun, which also shouldn't cause a good dial to discolor. In any case, it can be a big deal of fun searching for the right one. Omega produced over 6,000 pieces, that being the general consensus. That's interesting discovery. Never knew about that. The photorealistic planets have a quite grainy resolution, as shown in the composition above. But it says it's his favorite feature. Haha. Also, as a Speedmaster collector, I know that a certain time will come that I will regret not buying this watch. Isn't that what I'm saying? He says he had the 2003 Snoopy Award and the Tintin and the Apollo. Apparently, he got rid of them all. When you could have owned a Moon to Mars watch for 2,600 pounds 5 years ago, and now you have to pay 5,000 pounds today. What do you think they are now? There's the original. There's the original listing for it on Omega. See that? The Omega Let's see what it says here on the description. From Moon to Mars features a black dial graced by a small second subdial and a 30-minute recorder and a 12-hour recorder in a hesselite crystal. Subdials are cleverly designed as Earth, Mars, and Moon. Black bezel, 42 millimeter, 1861 engine. So it's a manual wind. Manual wound. Interesting to see that. All right, I think I'm going to call the end of the stream. Thank you for watching. Time for me to go for a lay down. That's about all I can hold myself up for. I got to split. I got to go. See you guys. Thank you. Bye. Oh, come on. Where's this at? It just happens, man. Once my back goes, I'm done. I got to split quick. See ya. Have a good day.